I told him, I said, look, I love being here because a good time to me is being the stupidest person in the room. I constantly feel inadequate when I'm in the room with y'all.
Yeah.
This is the Atomic Souls Podcast.
Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the podcast.
What a morning. Yeah, I did the...
Yeah, you've had a whole day.
I went to that church group this morning for the business owners and entrepreneurs. Trevor, the pastor who invited me, not there. Blaine, my other buddy, he's like, oh yeah, Blaine and Kevin will be there. Blaine's not there. So the only person I knew was Kevin, but everybody else there was pretty cool.
Showed up.
What's that?
Showed up. That's what matters.
Yeah. It was different than what I expected. It was more just like focused on leadership development. But it was cool to participate. What I was saying a second ago before the cameras were running was there was a couple of guys that were making comments about like, you know, I'm just a role player in my business. I'm not really leading anybody. And I was quick to correct that. I was like, no, you were always a leader.
Yeah. I just talked to one of our therapists about that.
Yeah.
I said, lead from below.
Exactly.
Like you
100%.
have to present as a leader to be seen as a leader.
Yeah. Well, so that was what I talked about. It was about, you know, you have a sphere of influence. And I used an example from yesterday. I said, yesterday I'm hanging out with some buddies at the office, Sal and Micah. And I said, as far as you're concerned with like an org chart, they're at the bottom of the totem pole, right? Yeah. I said, but as we're sitting there, Sal makes a comment, well, somebody just, you know, took a massive dump in the bathroom. I need to go get that cleaned up so it doesn't look bad tonight. And as he leaves and takes off out of the room, completely unprompted from me, this was all him doing this, Micah also jumps in and is like, yeah, I could be doing some calls right now. And so although Sal probably doesn't think of himself as a leader in that instance, what he has done there is by leading by example, he prompted Micah to go, you know, above and beyond in his job. Yeah. And then also as an owner, he gave me that confidence of like, no, these dudes got it. I don't have to worry about shit.
I can trust them. Yeah, I walked literally.
Right.
I walked into the office today and it smelled like bleach. I was like, yes.
Right.
Love that.
And it's so impactful. Anyway, to that point, you know, if you're watching this, you're always a leader, even if you don't have somebody directly under you. Yeah,
I learned that long time ago. Like my parents were like telling me stuff like that growing up. I just always found a way to like lead stuff. Yeah. To my detriment sometimes, but boundaries. But you have to, no matter what position you're in, you know, be in charge of you. I think that's the biggest part of being a leader. Exactly. No matter what position you're in, as long as you are showing up at your highest standards and not like other people's standards, then people are going to see you as a leader.
Yeah, we talk about that on the boat a lot. Talk about sphere of influence a lot. And that came from my dad, always instilled that in me. But on the boat, you know, becoming a wheelman and a captain and stuff, a lot of times when I'm mentoring somebody, what I talk to them about is like, don't worry about what happened on the other watch. I don't give a shit what happened on the other watch. Yeah. We're going to work our watch the best it can possibly be. Yeah. And like, oh, we're just going to get screwed over. You might at first, you're right. But eventually they're going to get convicted about it and be like, okay, I need to step it up a little bit. Like I'm the weakest link here. Yeah. And if that's not the case, then that's somebody that needs to be let go. They don't belong on this team. But nine times out of 10, the case is going to be that they're going to step up and say, oh, I'm the weakest link here. I don't want to be the weakest link. Right. I need to step up and meet everybody else's standards.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like the team has been doing that a lot this past few months.
Yeah. And it's hard to develop that culture of excellence. But when you have it, you have to just strive every single day to maintain it.
Yeah. And validate. I feel like we were doing like yearly reviews and like acknowledging people's leadership behaviors has been really morale boosting. Coming out the new year and holidays, it was really nice to like have people self-reflect on themselves and then like our reflection as well as supervisors.
Yeah, I was just talking with Ryan about that. I really love I know we want to change the format that we do our reviews, but I love the way we do self-reviews. Like I'm not reviewing you, you're reviewing yourself, and we're going to reflect on what you're review of yourself
Compare
was.
it. Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's really important because it needs to be self-reflection.
Yeah. I was really impressed with the ones that I've been a part of. Was very like detailed self-reflection and detailed goals for the future too. Like, oh, I could work on these things. Like, I'm just gonna be straightforward. And these are also like the goals that I want to do above and beyond my like base duties.
Ryan said in their reviews, he said they do reviews monthly too.
Monthly.
But he said a big question that they have in their annual reviews is, what do you know that I don't? I was like, man, that's a killer question.
I like it.
Because a big part of our review process, so we're doing the review with Lori, and she brings up some pain points between clinical and operations.
Yeah.
I get into a review with Sal, and he identifies the exact same thing from the opposite perspective, like the other side of the coin. And even though we know internally we're in the middle of a rollout for, the fix for that exact pain point, they don't know that, but they're self-identifying like, hey, you need to be aware of this because this is impacting my productivity.
Yeah, I want to improve this and make it more efficient.
Right.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's been a good morning. Yeah, it was a fun morning.
I was introducing two previous podcasts guests.
Yeah, Ryan and Khalid.
Yeah, how was that?
Vito was there too
Vito,
this morning. Vito's great.
Vito yesterday.
We need to get him on the podcast too.
I know. We should have filmed just yesterday's chat.
Yeah, I could have filmed this morning's coffee too.
That would be great to have them. Oh my God. Talk about a panel podcast.
Right.
Could you imagine Ryan? I'm just curious how that coffee went today, because I was like, that's going to be you as just like the third wheel.
Well, we were talking yesterday, and that's exactly what we said. We were like, I'm going to connect these two people, and I'm just going to sit there and watch them have a conversation. Yeah. And that is almost exactly what happened. They started talking, and then me and Vito started talking on the side. I told Vito, I said, man, did you ever watch True Detective?
Yeah.
It's not Owen Wilson. I can't remember the guy's name. But Matthew McConaughey and the other guy. Yeah. And they have that scene where they get in the car. And Matthew McConaughey's like, you ever feel like the wind's trying to talk to us and we just can't understand it? And I said, Vito, I feel like you're the other guy. It's like, man, I need you to just quit saying weird shit sometimes. Because Khalid thinks so differently than us, which is what
Ryan are both very deep.
Yeah, that's what I told him today. I said both of y'all think so drastically different than me.
Yeah.
But I love everything that comes. I told him, I said, look, I love being here because a good time to me is being the stupidest person in the room, and I constantly feel inadequate when I'm in a room with y'all. Yeah. Just because they have so out of the box thought processes compared to what's a normality for me.
And they're like our seniors, and it's rare that we find people, our seniors, that are like willing to talk to us like that.
Right.
It's fucked up.
Yeah, me and Ryan are sitting there. We're sitting there after Colin and Vito had left, and I was having a taco, and he was just kind of hanging out with me while I was eating a taco. And we were talking about some stuff going on in their business right now, and I was just kind of queuing up some questions, some stuff to think about while you're, kind of going through that process there. Yeah. And he's like, man, I feel like you're so insightful. I was like, how am I insightful? Like, dude, I'm learning from you.
You're 10 years ahead of us.
Right. And so I think that's what a beautiful relationship is, right? Is that we can both really respect each other for what the other is good at, and then also invest in each other.
Yeah.
Because he's, popping stuff off with questions, asking me questions like for insight from me. I'm like, I don't even know how to think like that. Like, give me a second, man. Let me prep something. And so I'm learning from the conversation as well as I'm being able to invest in him because he feels the same way, and vice versa. Anyway, he was saying that's something so unique about you and Rachel is y'all surround yourself with people that are not like you. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, that's our goal. Like if everybody's just like me, we're not doing anything. Right. That just becomes an echo chamber. I don't want an echo chamber. I want people that are going to combat me. I want people that are going to force me to grow. But in a positive nature,
you
right?
Like combat. I like discuss.
Well, I say combat is like you and I disagree a lot on things. That's good. We get better from that disagreement. Yeah. If you just constantly were like, yeah, sounds great. Yeah, sounds great. Yeah, sounds great. Then it would be the Mike show. And I would love it, but probably nobody else would.
That is true. Yeah, I feel like we connect with a lot of like different interesting people, and I don't know, we just like meeting people, talking to people, and
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Yeah, I'm
exactly
just
what I
curious
said.
what did they talk about? Because I don't know, Ryan and Kalina, they're just so deep.
It was a lot of deep discussion.
What was their main idea?
Well, we talked a lot about the art event that they're wanting to host in November.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, because they're both like artists.
right. The difference
Professional
is
artists.
so the difference is that Ryan works in art, so he
Yeah.
understands the business side of it, and that's what a lot of it was. Ryan was explaining, like, look, what you're doing is fantastic. It's great. We're coming at it from the wrong perspective, though.
Yeah, because he has the Austin art market tap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, they talked a lot about that, and a lot of it was over my head. But it was really cool to listen to because he was talking about. He said, you have to think of the art industry kind of in a triangle. At one corner, you have the artist. At another corner, you have the collector. Mm-hmm. And then there's a third corner of that triangle that is the dealer.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to take that part out of it, but that is an essential part. And he said,
they connect the artist too.
Yeah. He said, what's the two other things that you think of when you hear the word dealer? Yeah. It's drugs and cars.
Yeah.
He said it's the exact same thing in art.
Yeah.
You're trying to find somebody to impulsively buy a product.
Right. That's like, does it have value or not?
Exactly.
You're trying to like say how great it is.
That's what Colin was talking about. He said, I had hosted a talk about the power of branding. And he's like, I showed these students this beautiful piece of art, it's a couple $1,000. And then comparatively, there was another artist, I think it was out of France or somewhere, that had sold a particular piece of art for a few $1 million. Whoa. And the art they sold was canned shit. They personally shit in a can and then sold that for millions of dollars.
Jesus.
He said, that's the power of branding.
Yeah.
They bought somebody's canned shit. But I mean, it's true, right? Like you're not selling tangible value. Yeah. You're selling appraised value.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, was it subjective?
Right. Subjective. Yeah. Versus objective.
So you have to the dealer has to figure out like, all right, how do I sell this to each individual potential purchaser? That's
what Ryan was saying. He's saying, it might not have been Ryan. It might have been Khaled. One of them, they were both saying so many things. And I'm like, yes, sir. But they were talking about a dealer that was like a very prolific dealer said that he would research a collector for years and then make a $30 million sale on a piece of art. Wow. And he didn't care about the art. What he cared about was, how do I connect to this collector?
Yeah. So yeah, he would find the art that the collector would, want to invest in.
Well, not just that, how do I frame this art that he connects with it?
Yeah.
Like not just find the perfect piece of art for him, find the perfect story that connects the art to him.
I remember Ryan talking about that when he was doing fine art and gallery work, and he was like, the dealer started talking about some story, and he was like, "That's not right. Like that's not really true."
Right.
He was like, "Shut up. It doesn't matter. It's what they want it to be true."
Yeah. I brought that up today because that was kind of a staple memory from his episode. Yeah. I was like, yeah, you told a story about the discussion you had with one of your dealers where they were basically telling you like, look, you're wrong. You think people buy art because they want to connect with who you are. They don't give a shit about who you are.
They want to connect with themselves.
Yeah, they want to connect with themselves. Yeah. There's something internal that that the art has to trigger.
Yeah, for the purchaser. Yeah.
Yeah.
Collector. Yeah. Yeah, I would have loved to have been at that coffee today.
Yeah, you would have enjoyed it. It was so interesting to come out of the meeting this morning with the church group.
It's more just like leadership focused.
Right. Well, it was a lot of leadership development, right? Which is fantastic. They were all fantastic people, and I'm sure they're all going to be madly successful. Yeah. But to step out of that and go directly into a meeting with people that are leading their industries,
right?
And
it's not like skill based. It's just like creative, philosophical, visionary based conversation.
Well, there's some similarities and some differences, right? The topics are different.
Yeah.
But the mindset's the same. Like there's the same eagerness to know more, and eagerness to like solve that level of problems, right?
Yeah.
So like the guys at the group this morning they're working on personal development,
like entry level leadership.
I wouldn't even say entry level. I mean, it wasn't entry level, but it's a lot of internal focus, personal development. And then the other conversation is, I'm at that level internally to where how do I implement this externally to be of service to my community?
Yeah. I've been teaching that around here.
Right.
Like every therapist I interviewed, I said, at some point you will be the top dog here with your licensure and experience. And what you do with it next is very important.
Right. That was the conversation I was having with Ryan. Ryan was talking about, I need problem solvers. We always have these problems. And I feel like I'm always trying to solve a problem. And it's a hard life. And the question
he needs a veto.
Well, the question I asked him, I said, well, who's replacing you? And he goes,
exactly.
That's a good question. I don't have anybody that replaces me. I said, that's the problem, brother.
Yeah.
A lot of times people want to talk about, I need to work on the business, not in the business. That's not a one-off thing. It happens constantly because like at one point we were, the bottom of the totem pole that we have now, right? Yeah. And we had to figure out, okay, I need people to come do these things so I can do the next level.
Yeah.
And then we were at that level doing, the clinical work. Okay, well, I need somebody to replace me here so I can do the next level, manager level. Yeah. Okay, well, I need somebody to replace me here so I can do expansion level. Okay, well, I need somebody to replace me here so now I can do corporate development level. Yeah. And I think that's where people disconnect a little bit is they have this mindset, well, once I get out of the business, everything's going to be perfect. No, all you did was go to the next level. There's an infinite amount of levels that you can go to.
Yeah.
And you constantly have to be trying to replace yourself, though. If you're not replacing yourself, then you've stagnated. And you're back to working in the business. No matter what level you're at, if you're not replacing yourself, you're back to being in the business, not out of the business.
Yeah, I fully agree. We're having like Lori rise to the next level in the next year. And I told her I was going to put a sticky note on my desk that says, ask Lori, and just point at it and shut up because I keep giving people answers. And I'm just like... I was talking to Micah about it. Yeah. He's like, I'm sorry I came to you. I asked Lori something. I'm going to start coming to her. And I was like, it'll be a habit change for everyone. Yeah. But it's going to be really beneficial to everyone here.
Well, here's the thing, too. Lori's answer is going to be different than what your answer is going to be sometimes. Yeah. That's okay. Yeah. It's her decision to make. Your job is to mentor her to make the best possible decision. Right. Yeah. Some guys that were talking this morning, they're like, I'm scared that they're not going to do it 100% to the way I would do it. And I'm gonna lose quality. Yeah. Good. They don't need to do it 100% the way you're going to do it. They do it 80% the way you're going to do it. And what you'll find out is when you have a few of those people that are producing at 80% of you, what you thought was this ideal perfection of business, in reality is not it, and they're doing it better than you. Yeah. Like what I thought the marketing agency would be 2 years ago, it is not. Different. And that's good because
branding does not do branding.
Exactly. Because the vision that I had, and I was like, we have to be 100% on this vision, is not actually where the business went. Yeah. And the way it was able to get to where it's at today is it had to not be mine anymore. I had to have somebody replace me.
Yeah. Give it to Joel. Yeah, it's been interesting to see replacing ourselves within all the companies and seeing how people rise to the occasion. And I was telling like Micah today, I was like, if Lori doesn't know, she'll tell you that and she'll ask me or Mike and then we'll get back to you. Yeah. She'll get back to you. Right. It's like, so he was like, well, what if she doesn't know? And I was like, she'll figure it out or she'll ask us and then she'll bring it back to you. Right. Like, that's how it's going to work. She's going to run the place one day. Like, that's we need her to start practicing that. Yeah. And y'all to start practicing that. I think he was like excited about the shift. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's how I'm trying to think of a proper phase, but if you think of like the trickle down economics of like, okay, if billionaire spends money, then millionaires get money. If millionaires spend money, then, the people that are
the middle class gets
the middle class gets money. Middle class spends money, then the lower class gets money, and the reality is capitalism does not actually work like that. So don't take that word.
Don't get me started.
Right.
On the current events of the elite.
But if you take that concept and you put it into internal business of like, how do we actually operate as leaders and as managers? You have to think about it in that regard. Like, okay, you only manage a handful of people now instead of actively seeing, 30 clients or so.
I manage Lori now.
Right.
As of last week.
But you are investing in them.
Yeah.
And then they are investing into, their seconds are direct client care.
Yeah.
And so you investing in 2 or 3 people that also invest in 2 or 3 people within their sphere. And then those 2 or 3 people actually do client care. Well, now instead of you seeing 30 clients, you influence 100 plus clients.
Yeah.
And that's how you scale business is by doing that. Not only is that how you scale business, but it's how you actually grow and invest in people.
Yeah.
If you're seeing 30 individual clients, you can only invest in them at an hour rate, right? But if you have like, hey, Lori is my person right now. My goal is to make Lori the best Lori can possibly be.
Yeah.
That's going to happen way faster than an hour session a week, each
I
week.
have 30 clients. I have 30 hours to invest in her.
Exactly.
She would be so overwhelmed.
And I think that's where a lot of people disconnect, especially in clinical. I see it where they're like, man, I want to have impact on my clients. Rachel has huge impact on her clients. It's at a disconnected rate, but she has massive impact.
Yeah. Yeah. And when we first started, we'd get people that would call and I was full. And so they'd like, well, I want to work with you. Like, I heard you're the best. I was like, started having to tell them like, well, I train all of our staff. I train all of our therapists. Like, you're going to get the high quality care that I would give you.
Right.
I'm just going to be with Lori instead.
Right.
And now I'm trying to teach Lori that, like, because she'll have clients that want to come back and just see her.
Right.
I'm like, I know that's nice for your ego. It feels really good. I've been there.
It's not how you scale though.
That's how I left a different facility.
Yeah.
Was they only wanted me. Yeah, I was like, but you have to like coach the client and say like, hey, I'm supervising Emily and she is like my little protege. And Sam and Dean. It's like these are being trained heavily by us. Like they're meeting with us weekly, at least for an hour to 2 hours supervised. And so like how to translate that to clients is like, it's not me personally. Yes, I'll be around. I'll see you. We can still have relationship, but I cannot be your direct therapist anymore. You got to see so-and-so who I fully trust.
Right. And that's the value of investing in the brand too. I've had another facility that I've been mentoring a little bit and they were talking about, well, how do you charge the same price for a master level clinician that you charge for an LCDC? It's like, because they're not buying the license, they're buying the brand. Like if somebody comes to Awkward Recovery or Atomic Souls, they're paying for the quality of care that brand represents, not that particular clinician represents.
Yeah.
The clinician is a role player on the team.
Yeah.
And they're fantastic. That's why they're a part of this team.
Right. We have very high standards for LCDCs compared to other facilities.
Exactly.
So that's also a factor.
But we don't promote individual clinicians. We promote that when you come to Awkward Recovery or Atomic Souls, you can expect this level of excellence.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's what sets us apart. And that's why we're seeing so much success lately.
Yeah.
Now that we're rocking and rolling, it's been cool to see.
We are rocking and rolling, that's for sure. Yeah, anyway, it was fun morning. Fun hanging out with those guys. Even this morning, we did this like rating thing where you rate yourself. And that was a cool self-reflection. It was rate yourself 1 to 3 on how quick are you to seek help versus just do it yourself. The second one was when something goes wrong, do you blame yourself or do you blame others? Or like take responsibility for the issue.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember what the last one was. Anyway, it was cool to see doing that scoring system, and we all went around the table and everybody says what their score is and why they feel that was their personal score, and having different levels of business and getting to hear people self-reflect. It was really insightful because some of the stuff that I feel like I'm doing really well at now
Yeah.
are stuff that I feel like I need help with now. If somebody else that's at, a higher level or lower level, they're looking at the same thing and they're like, oh, you're really well at this. And then I can hear based off the other conversations that they're saying, I'm like, man, I need to learn from this guy because, he is very external. Like, oh, I need to find somebody to help me with this.
Yeah.
To where that was the one that I said I struggle with the most is, I always want to try and solve the problem myself. That's like that's my default rather than hand it off to somebody else.
Yeah. I've been working on that one. I've been getting good at like, hey, why don't you do this? I'm like, oh, somebody else could do this.
Well, somebody else this morning too had mentioned like the verbiage adjustment of delegation versus empowerment. And I really like that because delegation is kind of like skill level 1, right?
Yeah.
But when delegation becomes true empowerment to where they get to take ownership of it and they get to, take the glory from doing it, like that's where you're really leading is that I don't need any recognition that this ever had anything to associate with me. They get all of that.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of where we struggle, right? Because like, I want some recognition. Like I want you to look at me and be like, oh yeah, he's a badass.
Yeah.
But again, that's not scaling properly.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, it feels good. Kind of back to the like client thing. Like it feels great when clients like, I only want to see so and so.
Right.
It's like, oh yeah, I'm great. And then it's like ego check. Okay, like I'm not the only therapist that is effective, and they just have bonded with me. And that's great. But I need to hand it off to someone else, empower a newer clinician to, keep continuing to grow the whole team to be that great. And that's what happens. Like, so a client will come in and like, maybe I'll fill in or Lori will fill in, and now walk in, they're like, hey, Rachel, like these clients that like, I'm not supposed to know them, in theory, but they know me and they like connect with me. But I'm not their primary therapist, and they still find value in their primary therapist too. So I was telling this to Mike, I was like, to Dean, because he's like, it's so nice I don't have to do case management. I can just like actually be a counselor. He's like, that's so refreshing. I was like, isn't it nice? Like, and that's why we have the team members, because each client has all these touch points. They have you, they have who leads their group, they have me, they have Lori, they have...
The concept of touch points is something that a lot of places don't even understand.
They have... I'm not done. They have Sal, they have Micah, they have Denise, they have Scott, they have you. They have all of us because we're always here like talking to people.
And they have multiple...
That's like 10 touch points.
They have multiple touch points within each of those relationships too. No, I think that's so important. Like you have wraparound care. And they feel that. They feel genuine. They feel that they're like, I'm not going to Mr. Fix-It for service provision. I'm going to my people for community engagement. And that's so important. Something that I had brought up this morning, because I mean, this is just, a core component of how I try to act as a leader. I'd read that book, years ago, Turn the Ship Around. And the key component of it was, replacing yourself, which we were talking about a second ago. But, a lot of people, kind of what you're saying is like, you want to have that hype of like, people want to, that attaboy, oh, you did a good job. And people think a good leader is like, I show up and everything's better. I'm a good leader. That's actually a terrible leader. A good leader is when you can leave and nobody even notices you're gone. That's when you're a good leader.
I feel like we're getting there.
Well,
it's really nice.
Like in ASP, I thought we were there at one point, and we stepped away from the business and it went straight into the gutter. And that was us being poor leaders, right? Because they couldn't function without us.
Did not equip the people
right.
that were there. They didn't want to be equipped either.
So that was delegation versus empowerment, though. They were not empowered; they were delegated to. That's fair. And then a couple years later, we do a similar thing where we start stepping away and handing off. And it thrived because we were the people at that point that could empower, not just delegate. And I think that's hugely important. There's a guy I listen to a lot. I cannot remember his name, but I just saw another video of him on TikTok yesterday talking about, doing business is pretty easy. It's not that hard. Becoming the person that can do business is very hard.
Yeah.
And I think that's the truth of it is everything rises and falls on leadership. And it's us becoming the people that are capable of that. Like, 5 years ago when we tried to hand off ASP, we were not there. We were not the people that needed to be able to do that yet. We're almost those people now.
Yeah.
And thankfully we have a team around us that is so good that we can be not the best.
Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, I'm trying to doing like policy and procedure stuff because I have the time and it's so nice.
Right.
Which I used to hate. I think that's also a concept too, is like becoming a business owner and just like leveling up in life. I was thinking about this the other day of like teaching clients and staff proactive skills instead of reactive.
Yes.
And so I've been teaching like the therapists who are showing like leadership. They're like, well, what do I need to do? And I was like, why don't you ask Lori what you need to do? She's like, well, if she's busy, she'll say no. And I was like, well, that's on Lori. Like, she's going to work on that delegation. But also, like, you could email her and say, hey, when you have a chance, send me a list of stuff to do. Be proactive instead of reactive. Just, oh, I have 2 minutes to do something. Like, what do you need done? That's not efficient.
Yeah.
Like, ask her to sit down and like, she'll give you a list. Like, there's stuff to do. But maybe in the moment's not the right time.
Yeah. Proactive is hugely important. Something we had talked about this morning. The guy was like, can you give me an example of what you mean by like the 80-20 and, being outside the business instead of in it? I was like, yeah, perfect example with the companies that we have, the way that they operate now. I invest about 20% into each of our companies at this point. And it started out as like they were 80% of what I could do. Now they're 120% of what I could do on all of them because those people are that fantastic. But the 20% that I invest in all of them allows me to spend 80% of my time focused on things that haven't happened yet.
Proactive.
I am forecasting the next 3 to 5 years and proactively trying to solve problems before they've ever even hit our door yet. I don't know what our day-to-day problems are. I don't participate in that. I am trying to solve the problems that are going to be an issue in 3 years and 5 years so they never even get to us.
Right. And so we're ready for it.
And that's what policies and procedures does. That's what. That's why I am such a big advocate of policy and procedure. I constantly say this with people. If I could write a procedure on how somebody wipes their ass when they're at our office, I would absolutely do it. Because it accomplishes so much, right? Like there's no guessing at how something should be done. There is a quantifiable metric as to if you did it correctly or not. And if you follow the procedure and somehow that was a pain point, that's my fault. I wrote the procedure wrong. We can correct that.
Modify it for actual work happening.
But there's never an assumption that takes place at that point.
And I think that is when things really changed for us, was when we were able to be more proactive. I vividly remember that when we were like, all right, we got to write policy and procedure. Like we've got to get ahead of this. And so we were reactively writing it, which sucked. And we're like, putting it out like literally every day. I'd have like, all right, new policy, new procedure. And now we're ahead of it where I'm like, all right, I'm refining it for 2026. For 2027, I guess, because it was supposed to be ready for this year. And so I'm just like refining it now and like going through and saying, what do we need? What do we actually like utilize? What is boots on the ground versus like just corporate bullshit that we need for the state. And so it's been interesting to be on the other side and be proactive. But I distinctly remember that like moment and shift that we had when we're like, we have to write procedure and policy. And all the companies across the board. And that I think is what took us to the next level. And for us to get out of the
exactly what you just said too, that you're refining them now. They have to be a living document. They have to be able to be refined. I mean, a lot of times we talk about businesses like, oh, that's my baby, right? Well, treat your policies and procedures like you would treat a baby. Like first, you need to teach them how to wear a diaper, and then teach them
wear this diaper, baby.
Right, but like that eventually evolves into okay, we only wear diapers at night while we're sleeping, and we're gonna wear our big girl undies now, and we got to learn to not shit in our pants. And like, okay, great. We don't shit in our pants anymore. We got to learn how to wipe our own ass. Great. Like you have to evolve with your business because your business is going to change and those policies are not going to stay relevant forever.
No, especially as you grow. I'm trying to like write them in ways that will support growth.
Exactly.
Because I'm like editing out like, oh, we use simple practice. I'm like, we don't use that. So I'm like, we use an electronic health record. Like that way, if we change from written, then
I had one. I was going through as a procedure for putting people on the leads board on Monday. I was going through it with Micah, trying to show him some stuff. And I got to one point where it was saying to do something. I don't remember exactly what it was. It was like, oh, yeah, we don't even do this shit anymore. I need to update this procedure.
Yeah. And then the next one after that was like list of documents that clients sign. And it was from Simple Practice like 2 or 3 years ago. And I was like, oh, this is so old. So I literally had to pull up written. I was like, what documents do we, what's the list?
Yeah. But yeah, even if you are, let's say you're basically just self-employed, like you're business with one employee and you're employee number one, you should still start writing policies and procedures because when you do get to the point of replacing yourself, you need to give them the guidebook, the Bible of your business and say, hey, this is how you do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's where a lot of people get stuck. And like, I was talking to somebody recently that, I know, we've outgrown some like networking groups and stuff. And I was like, I can't understand still being in a networking group over 10 plus years and you're still running the company. Like that's foreign to me.
Right.
It's like, that's like wild. Like I want to hand shit off. Like I don't want to be running it. Maybe that's what people want though. Like some people don't want to grow past what they're at. And that's fine. You're like, that doesn't make sense. I could see it like not computing.
Yeah. Well, it's a scarcity mentality. It's the mentality that we were discussing this morning of, well, how can I trust somebody to get it 100% there? Yeah. You don't. You trust them to get 80% there. And the
procedure is what gets them to 100%.
Yeah, exactly. The procedure is the safety net that gives them an area of operation that they can stay within, a parameter of excellence. And people just can't get past that. But once you do, that's when the world really opens up. Yeah. It's like I have 2 modes of operation. Number 1 is I try and forecast where we're at in 3 years. And number 2 is I try and replace myself on that journey to 3 years from now. Constantly. Like if I'm not a brand new position in 12 months from now, I've failed.
I remember somebody recently quit and you had predicted it. Yeah. You were like, I told you that a year ago.
Right. And yeah, I mean, it is a difficult concept to comprehend. And a lot of people think personal growth is just constant. Oh, I got to read a new book and I got to do this. And those things are good. But the personal growth is, changing those paradigms of like, what is your job? Is your job to do X, Y, and Z? Nope. Your job is to craft the person that does X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. And then when you become the manager of that position, okay, your job is to craft the person that manages this position. Yeah. You should constantly be growing.
Yeah, it's not about you. It's about the position.
Exactly.
And perfecting the position.
And what changes in you internally is that full appraisal of what the operation is. Yeah. Because the boat's the perfect example of this. There's stuff that happens on deck where like I'll ask the guys, hey, I need you to catch this line here. Hey, don't catch that line. I need to come up 20 feet. And they're like, oh, just do what the fuck I tell you to do. Why ain't you listening to me? Mm-hmm. Because I'm 50 foot higher than you and you can't see what I'm seeing. You don't see the ship coming by that's about to rock you and you're going to fall in the water or something. You don't see all those things. And so that's what I mean by you have to, over 12 to 24 months, you need to become a brand new person because you need to be that 50 foot higher that you get the full appraisal of this. Yeah. And then like over me, there's a port captain on the water that he sees how our boat is operating and the 12 others that's within his fleet. And there's stuff that doesn't make sense to me, but to Chris, it makes perfect sense because his appraisal is is a lot larger than mine. Yeah. Above him, there's ops managers that have, multiple port captains that have multiple fleets. Yeah. And there's stuff that ops manager does that Chris is like, what the fuck are we doing? Right. But you get 12 months down the road and you're like, oh yeah, that was pretty smart.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, that makes sense. Because again, your appraisal changes. Yeah. And that's what you have to be focused on is, am I still appraising the same exact thing? Yeah. Or has it evolved into something bigger?
I feel like this past year has been a huge leap of appraisal for us.
Massive. Yeah.
I feel like starting out last year, we were still kind of in the day-to-day, like way too much. And the change that has happened has been insanely amazing to like have the kind of larger view of things, and then now kind of letting Lori in on that so she can see the larger view of things, and she can start to like predict things. And it's been really cool to see because like, I think back to like all the chaos that started out in 2025 to like this year feels like completely different, like so stable.
Well, I had to migrate, right? Because you were like, look, I need support here. Like this, I need boots on the ground. And so I stepped away from some of the stuff I was doing in other businesses. I'm like, hey, look, I'm migrating everything to the office in Austin. I'm going to be at Tide Lane. Like my desk is here now. Everything's here. I'm here every single day. And sometimes what you got to do, you got to backtrack a little bit and be like, okay, I screwed this foundation up. Like we need to rebuild this. And that's what we did over the last year. We went back and we retrofitted that foundation, and now we're back above that now. And again, that's another thing that people don't think about is there's seasonality to it. Like there's going to be seasons where it's just a hustle season. Like that's the valley. We got to eat shit for the next 10 months or so. But if you're diligent with that and you appreciate that, then you come out on the other side a better person and a better business.
Yeah. Yeah. And even like, I feel like before the holidays, I feel like things were kind of stabilizing. And then the holidays kind of destabilized a little bit too. Because like everyone's like out and like on vacation, or, we were still.
It's destabilized for you. It was great for me.
It was destabilized for me because like Scott was out. You were on the boat, so it was like I was here alone as leadership. We're looking to hire people. We're max numbers. Beniz is out, and so I'm on the phones. And I'm just like, what is happening? I was like, this is not okay. And then we all get back, or y'all all get back, and we're like, okay, hire Micah so that never happens again. Someone that can answer the phones. And then we're like, all right.
How many people did you interview? You interviewed there was 40 people that were on the list.
Well, I had 30 scheduled. I had over 30 apply. I had 30 scheduled, and after 20, I was like,
and we were living in a hotel while you're doing that.
Like the state stopped by mid interviews, and I was like, I just canceled everyone else. I said, all right, we found 4 candidates that are top, second round interviews. Scott, do it. Living in a hotel, it was.
I remember sitting at
the wildest few months that we've had.
Me and Angelique and Harley are sitting at Chili's. You met us there, and you walk in, you're like, I'm done. I'm not interviewing anybody else. If I haven't interviewed them yet, we don't need them.
We don't need them. I told people, I said, hey, we'll keep your resume on file, but I told them we found the candidate, but Scott was still doing the second round interviews. I was like, we found someone, it's fine. And it was Dean, and Dean was my first interview.
Dean's fantastic.
And I wanted to just be like, all right, you got the job. I couldn't. I just didn't
you did the right thing. It's just proper due diligence.
I don't think I need to do 20 more interviews, but.
You made me think of this. I forgot. I think it was something I read on TikTok. And it was a guy talking about his boss. And he's like, I just watched my boss pick up a stack of 100 resumes, take half the stack and throw it in the trash. And
Don't even look at it.
He said, I asked him, he's
up to God now.
Like, what are you doing? He said, unlucky people don't need to work here.
No, literally. I was like, these are qualified people, but sorry.
It's like, if you're in this stack, you're unlucky. I don't want you anyway.
Yeah. That is how it felt, to be honest. I was like, sorry. If the state hadn't come in, I would have been like, all right, let's do these interviews. Another week of it. And
you're unlucky. I don't want unlucky people here.
Or as people that I still had people reaching out this week. I still have at least 1 or 2 a week that email me a resume and say, I saw this position's open. So I had someone come in and interview last week. I was like, it's not open anymore, but in the next 3 to 6 months, it'll be open. And come in for a first round interview. It's casual.
Yeah, I mean, we're constantly growing. So it's not bad to come in and interview.
I think we had 1, maybe 2. No, as one person, and he was one of the top candidates that said they found a different job and we're going to go that route. Everyone else was like, I want to work with y'all. whatever. I'll work part-time. I'll work PRN. I'll do whatever y'all want me to do to get my foot in that door. Not as like just the one guy was like, I found somewhere else. I think he was money motivated. But
yeah, for sure.
Everyone else was like, I want to work there. Call me in 3 months. Call me when it's open. Like, I was like, you're not even top candidate, but like, cool.
No, that is awesome. And I mean, I think it's a testament to you and everybody else that's here and the culture that has been developed.
Yeah, it was very validating after the chaos of last year to have that much interest that's continuing to want to be here. And then hearing Dean today say, I get to actually be a counselor. It's like, that's really nice.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm excited to do BPSAs. It's like actual counseling work. And I'm like, that's so great because everyone else is kind of burnt out on those.
Right. Well, and that's, Lori's job now, but that was your job too, is kind of the internal counselor of like, I have to protect the mental health of my team so they can be, of proper value to their clients. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Trying to help them all balance that of like, all right, so you have 14 clients. You're also doing BPSAs though. So you're probably at like 16 to 17 clinical hours a week. I was like, Emily, you can say no to a BPSA. Like, Benny's will be sad, but
he's gonna call me and complain.
We can pace it if we need to. Like, y'all don't have to be superheroes.
Yeah, he calls me anytime we can't get a BPSA, and man, this is bullshit. Like, I'm making sales, and then they're not doing their part. I'm like, it's all right, brother.
They're all maxed out caseloads.
Yeah, I'm like, it's all right. You're doing a great job. That's why we're here. Like, these are the problems we want to have.
Problems to have. That's been the motto of the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Good problems to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been interesting. But it's been cool because I feel like we are so proactive now. And I think that proactiveness is what's helped us. And I was even thinking about like that concept on a skills level with clients. Like we teach like budgeting and resume stuff this past week. And it's like you can be reactive and just be like, oh, I think I'm going to save $10 this week. Or you can be proactive and set up a budget that'll be like, oh, I can save $20 every week. Yeah. And it's like, that is so important to like personal growth, business growth.
Everything. Absolutely. There's a couple of guys I've been mentoring about that exact thing, financial literacy. And I'll ask them like, well, what is your budget? Oh, well, I think I spent about this. I didn't ask how much you spend. I asked what your budget was. There's a difference.
What do you plan for?
Exactly. Yeah. And one of the guys I've been working with, he makes great money. But essentially he was like net negative about $100 every single month and stacking up credit card debt. Yeah. And we went through and actually budgeted and looked at what he was spending his money on. It's like, dude, you spend $8,000 a month going out to eat. Like, bring that in and do groceries and you're good. And he's got a budget now to save a minimum of $4,000 a month. And start eating away that debt. But that's what we do though. Like that's what a lot of people that start out their career, they're making $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. And they're like, oh, well, I just got to make it work now so I can get to that position that makes $100,000 or $200,000 or $300,000. And what they don't realize is if you have poor financial literacy at $40,000, you're going to have poor financial literacy at $400,000. I have friends that make $400,000 a month or $400,000 a year.
A month.
Yeah, I mean,
let's go.
Yeah, but make $400,000 a year and still are pinching pennies every single month to make ends meet. Yeah. Because their financial literacy is horrendous. And I have other friends that make $40,000 a year and they save $1,000 a month because they have built out budgets and they have developed the discipline to make that happen.
Yeah. Yep. Proactive is so important.
Yep.
We had someone comment on Instagram that said they liked our conversation about accountability.
Accountability?
They're like asking for more of that. How would accountability play into proactive versus reactive? In
a personal sense or?
Whatever, both. Yeah.
Well, I think accountability, like something we talk about a lot is I will say that I'm going to do things or set goals simply so you're holding me accountable to it. It's like, hey, I thought we were going to be here by this date. Where are we at? Yeah. And it's kind of like the concept of like bringing things into the light. And that's the value of community and stuff, right? Same thing with, on a personal level. I was talking with Frank this morning. I texted Frank. I was like, "Hey, brother, how you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I just finished my workout and I'm, headed to the office." I'm like, "Cool. Now you're making me feel convicted because I didn't work out this morning." But like having those friends that he didn't intentionally do that. He's just saying, "This is what I did this morning." I intentionally have relationships with people like that though, because I know they're going to push me to be a better person. Yeah. And there's an accountability level there of like, oh, he's working out, I need to work out. Yeah. And having that personal mindset of I can't constantly make excuses for my failures. I need to be held accountable. I need people to tell me, hey, you're failing at this. Right. Don't tell me that you don't have time. You just don't prioritize it.
Right. I think that's huge. That was one thing when Sal came on, he was like, what do I need to do? And I was like, priority management. Yeah. You have a lot of shit to do. All of it's very small tasks. You can do all of them. Yeah. You have to prioritize what is most important.
And that's what Monday is. We got Monday.com. It is a platform of accountability. It's just a shit pile of checklists that he goes through every day.
Well, I think even we started in like Excel spreadsheets. We used to have the like operations to-do list every day. And we'd be like, all right, did you do your tasks? And we could like monitor it. Yeah. And it's cool to see it in Monday now. And we have like our own boards, like, oh, like Rachel's to-do list, Mike's to-do list, Joel's to-do list. And you like put stuff on each other's list. And so it's like, okay, in the partners meeting, like, did everyone get their shit done this week, this month? Why not? Why didn't you do it? Oh, it's not priority. Oh, sorry. Okay.
I think every single business should be using some type of project management software.
I think that has game changed it.
It's hugely
that and the
successful.
Procedures has really helped us.
Anytime you're making an assumption, that's an issue. And that's what that does, is get rid of assumptions. Like if I say that you're going to do something and there's not any accountability measure, that's just, okay, I'm just assuming that you're going to get that done. Yeah. But when we quantify it by putting it inside of Monday as this is a task to do and, it still says needs to be done. She hasn't started working on it yet, or it hasn't been completed yet, or there's not a roadblock yet or anything like that. Okay. Well, then she's just not doing it. There's an accountability measure there. And now I can hold you accountable to not doing it. I'm a firm believer. I don't care what type of industry you work in. I don't care if you do product sales, if you do local service, you should have some type of project management software internally.
Yeah. And it tells you a lot about people too, because what they prioritize to work on. Because I remember there'd be people like, well, I did all these things. I was like, that's low priority. You did the easiest things to check off the most for that dopamine hit. Like you didn't actually, like, I need this to be done. Do I need to highlight it in like red for you to actually know that? Like,
and that's what we do on Monday now. Yeah. I mean, we literally have highlighters. We're like, if it's in red, that shit needs to be done ASAP. Done today. If it's in green, get this done at some point, but do the red stuff first.
Yeah. Yeah, because we realize that like, hey, people need to know what is priority. And I think we're starting to see people figure out for themselves what's priority as well.
Right. Nice. And this is not sponsored, but Monday, if y'all want to sponsor us, would love it.
A brand deal.
Would love a brand deal. I mean, there's multiple platforms out there. I really like Monday just because of the automation, the way they have it set up in like a modular format.
It's so customizable, which can be the roadblock at the beginning. I remember we started it, we were like, there's too many things to do. Like, what do we do? And so you figured it out, you and Joel. And
we hired a consultant at first and wasted a bunch of money. I don't remember who she was, but we paid a consultant a few $1,000s to get it set up and running. We're like, hey, this is what we want to accomplish. And she built it out. And then we realized like, oh, we were wrong. This actually isn't what we need. And we still don't know how to use the platform. Yeah. So we got to hire another consultant or learn it.
I think that is key as well as you're starting out with business and like life growth. You're going to run into things and like do them wrong. Like when we first started, I was like, someone's like, oh, you have policy and procedure. And I was like, no, like, I don't, what do we do that needs policy and procedure? Right. Now I'm like, oh, that was silly of me. But like back then I genuinely didn't know. Yeah. Same with y'all. We genuinely didn't know what we needed in Monday. We got it and we're like, well, that's not it. But now we have an idea of what it is and we'll fix it ourselves. And I think just those things of like accepting, hey, like I don't know everything. Hey, like I'll figure it out. I'll make a change and eventually implement the right thing and perfect it along the way.
Yeah, again, like it it needs to be something that can pivot and be manipulated.
Yeah. The pivot.
I've been working on the platform build out for Awkward for over a year now, and just slowly implementing team members so I can kind of beta test how they operate in it. But yeah, I mean, that's the type of a diligence that you need to do sometimes. Like, it's not something that you're going to build out, over the weekend and implement. You might get, your MVP, minimum viable product over the weekend, but that can't be the final product. You got to keep growing it.
Yeah. Around that time when we started Monday.com, I used to like to know everything that y'all were doing and like try to like, listen in the conversation. Sometimes y'all start talking about like Monday or marketing stuff, and I'm like, I gotta answer emails right now because I cannot follow this conversation.
Yeah. I can't even follow all the conversations.
You'll be like, this automation is I'm like, what? I tried to go in and make automation myself, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna just let them do this.
It gets intricate quick.
It's so intricate.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean,
most people will just be like, all right, fuck it, it's too intricate.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go with some like Salesforce and pay stupid money for Salesforce because
oh my gosh, it's so stupid money.
Yeah, but it's it's not super user friendly, but it's more user friendly. And they have like teams of people that can help you like structure it for your company.
It's very streamlined, and Salesforce is a great product. By no means am I saying it's a bad product, but you have to assimilate to how Salesforce works, not the other way around.
Yeah, Monday.
To where with Monday,
modify.
It's taken a lot of time, but I've crafted Monday to accommodate us, not the other way around. Yeah. And that's kind of the difference of like you go with like a Salesforce or some other CRM software, which that's a CRM software, not a project management software. We've gotten to the point with our project management that it also operates as a CRM too.
We can never find the right CRM for any of our companies.
But anyway, with Salesforce, like you have to do the way Salesforce thinks that you should do it. Yeah. And again, it's not bad. Yeah. But there's going to be little nuances that you're like, I wish it did this. Yeah. To where with like Monday.com or Notion's another one, it's going to do exactly what I tell it to do because I built it.
Yeah. You built it. I didn't have to.
Right. But anyway, all that, full circle back to accountability. We invest tens of thousands of dollars on an annual basis purely for the value of accountability. That is how much we wholeheartedly believe in accountability. Yeah. And on a personal level, the exact same way. Like I have very strategic relationships in my life that are designed to hold me accountable to certain things that I want to maintain discipline in. Yeah.
Yeah. It's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think his name was Avery, was asking us more about that on Instagram. So I wanted to touch on accountability and the importance.
Cool. I mean, I would love to, if there's specific topics around that they want to dive into, I'd love to chat more about it. But accountability is the biggest key to success. Because accountability comes from community.
Yes. Yeah, and if you don't have those things, then you're just relying on yourself.
Right.
Myself gets lazy and doesn't want to do the best things. But if I'm in community or I have people pushing me or even just like doing better than me around me, then it rises. The tide rises together.
Even getting into like 12 steps and stuff, like the whole purpose of having a focus on a higher power is because you cannot have self-reliance. Yeah. If you're relying on self, you are going to fail. Yeah. It might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, but it is going to happen. Yeah. And that's accountability. Like, I'm not saying you got to go into the spirituality realm to find accountability, but that's what it is, right? Like if, let's say, you're Muslim or Christian or whatever the case is, you have your holy book and that book is there to hold you accountable. It's saying this is the way it should be done. If you ain't doing this, you're wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever is your guiding principle. You need that and you need community that also has similar guiding principles. If you have people with conflicting pathways, it can get messy and not really accountable.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, do whatever you want. no.
Yeah, I definitely think you should be diligent about who you develop community with.
Yeah.
Like maybe we're not the right community for you. That's totally cool. A lot of times I'll hear people, kind of make the comment, "Oh, get in where you fit in." Don't do that. If just because you fit in should not be the qualifier for that to be your community. Exactly. Find people that you would aspire to be like and surround yourself with them. Figure out a way that you can get in that circle.
Be the dumbest person in the room.
Be the dumbest person in the room.
Be the fattest person in the room.
Yep.
Be the slowest person.
That's me. Every room I enter, I'm usually the dumbest and the fattest.
So when's the accountability ratio?
Right.
When does this rub off on you?
Yeah. Well, apparently I can be worse.
Yeah, you could get in rooms that, let you be worse.
Yeah.
I think it's important to find rooms that, everyone's striving for improvement.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. If you're the biggest fish in the pond, then you need a different pond. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. It's good to keep growing. And that's going to happen. You have to grieve. It's sad to leave people behind, but you to move to a new pond. But it's necessary for your continued growth.
Yeah. You always have to have somebody that's investing in you. I can't remember what the verse is, but there's a verse in the Bible that talks about give from an overflowing cup. Mm-hmm. Well, if you're constantly giving out of your cup and nobody's pouring into it, eventually you get drained.
Empty.
That's a problem. And so there's two parts of that. Yes, you should constantly be investing in others. You should constantly be giving, to the next person that's coming up. But somebody has to be investing in you or you will burn out.
Yeah.
And maybe that is a higher power for you, but on a tangible community part, you have people that are better than you at things and ask them, how can I be more like you?
Yeah. I think that is something that is hard to find, good mentors.
It is.
It's hard to find. A lot of, I feel like boomers and Gen X kind of are just out for themselves and good luck, bootstrap it yourself, figure it out. So I feel like the millennials are kind of coming full circle with mentorship as a focus in leadership roles, and it's been refreshing.
Right. Yeah. Well, kind of back to the concept we were talking about earlier of you invest in your managers, you invest in your clinicians, who invest in your clients. Yeah. And so by that effect, you get to positively impact a lot more clients than you could at a personal level. Yeah. I mean, and you have to think of that in a community standpoint of I need to invest in those that, are adjacent or under me, but I need somebody above me that invests in me. Yeah. And if we keep it flowing like that, then eventually it becomes full circle because the people that are invested in me, there's probably somebody that I'm investing in that has another area of life that they're excelling at and they're investing back over here. Yeah. But if we all just sit around with our full cup and we're hey, don't touch my shit, then
don't touch my cup.
Yeah. Then it's okay, yeah, you're full, everything's great, but that's not a community. Now you're just a bunch of people hanging out. That's not true community. If you're not investing in each other, then what's the point?
Your drink of choice is going to go stale.
Exactly. I think that's a perfect analogy. If there's no flow, the most dangerous thing in the wild is stagnant water, right? Yeah. Because there's no flow. Yeah. It starts to, build the nasty,
rancid,
right?
Yeah.
And so it's the same thing. Exactly. That is a phenomenal analogy, actually. If you don't have flow, then you're gonna go stale.
Yeah. Well, awesome. I have a client. Speaking of
all
this.
Adios.